first time there is an administration that thinks about the young people. Let me give you 3 examples, maybe 4.
But let's keep it within the 2 weeks, please.
No, it's okay. It's the 2 weeks.
Yes.
But don't look at the 2 weeks in isolation. The young people we have in the street did not happen in the last 2 weeks. They were not born when I became president. They were not job.
That's true. Like it has been a problem that was coming. But now, to his defense, that's true. But now he's been in power ever since those people were born. Those people found him in power, and he was the deputy president for the last 10 years. So you can't say that it's just now that he realized that there are many Gen Zs. Some of his children are Gen Zs. So the Gen Zs found him in power. We were born while he was in power. So you can't say, you also can't feign ignorance to that, like now.
When I became, they did not become jobless when I became president.
But I want us
these are young people who, over the years, we have close to 4.5 million young people who are out of school, out of college, with degrees, certificates, diplomas, without jobs. And that is why I have done 4 things. Number 1, when I pushed the housing program, it was not about the houses, it was about the jobs. Today, as I talk to you, Linus, we have 160,000 young people working in different parts of Kenya under our housing program. In Mukuru here.
But that's a lie. If those houses really, if the employee number is using 160,000 people, and most likely they have built many houses, then why were those houses not used to house people during the floods? Where were those houses? Are they really built? Can we see them? If I want to see those houses, can I be directed to where they are? Because the victims of the floods, as a country, will have agreed that they needed those houses, but you didn't give it to them. So do those houses really exist? And if those houses don't exist, meaning those 160,000 people you claim to have employed, they too don't exist. So you have ghost workers building ghost houses.
In Nairobi, and I challenge you, Linus, to go there tomorrow. There are close to 4,000 young people working who are jobless. Number 2, I have a whole program on digital jobs. I was in Ruto with the MP just allow me.
Allow me to interrupt you.
No, allow me.
There are risks on both ends of this interview.
No, you told me about
Your Excellency
the young people.
Talk about the last 2 weeks. The young people are saying, you don't get it. You don't understand what they're talking about. Now, what is the trigger here? They're saying there was this conversation about the finance bill that your government, until the other day, could not listen to anybody. It's not about the housing project, it's about listening. They are saying yours is not a listening presidency, and yours is not a listening government.
How best can I listen to the young people of Kenya if I am not addressing their issues? And that is why I want to tell you, Linus, these young people, what is their biggest issue? They have talents. They have gone to school. They have no jobs. That is the problem. And I am addressing those issues. Housing is one of them. Digital jobs is another. I was in Ruto with Simon Kingara, the MP for Ruto, launching an ICT hub that is actually hiring already 5,000 young people. Our whole plan, including what was in the finance bill, was to increase CDF by 10 billion shillings to roll out ICT hubs in every ward in the Republic of Kenya, so that we can hire young people, train them, put them on digital jobs. I have a 3rd program on export of labor.
Mr. President.
I have a 4th program on manufacturing, to be able to create more opportunities for the young people of our country.
And we want to inform you, they're no longer just talking about things that can be done to them as a demographic. They are looking at the big picture. Finance bill brought them out. And when did they come in? They came in after all public participation forums were not listened to. Kenya Association of Manufacturers spoke to the parliamentary committee, same thing, and said this is a bad bill. Association of Insurance spoke to the parliamentary team, this is a bad bill. We had a big conversation on national television, this is a bad bill. You did not listen.
Yes, everyone said it. Everyone from one sector, even Safaricom, said that this is a bad bill. Manufacturer said this is a bad bill. He didn't listen. So ideas are only good if they come from his head. Any idea that doesn't come from his head is a bad idea. Because whatever he's saying will solve the unemployment of youth. Everything he's saying is nonsense. The housing project won't solve, because the people you want to solve their jobs are educated people. They are people with degrees, people with certificates, but won't have a wheelbarrow. How will wheelbarrow solve their problems? They'll be more depressed because you, as a graduate of maybe actuarial science or medicine or engineering, with the wheelbarrow, is that the best? Is that the best job that the government can give you? That's the best. Like, is that a job that the government can brag about? The other one for the ICT. What are you being given computers to do? What are the computers for? So ICT hub, if you want to do, what does that do? And how many people can that employ? The best way if you want to employ the youth is reduce taxes, ensure that this organization, like the film one and the music one, ensure that they pay artists. That's all we want. We don't want the ICT hubs. They don't help us. Most of us have computers. Most of us we have laptops. We have phones. Whatever that ICT hub wants to do, we can do it at our homes. Just reduce the cost of internet. Otherwise, any idea you bring is just a way for you people to steal more money. It's more of a tenderpreneur tactic. ICT hub won't give me a job. Just ensure that data is affordable for me, or buy those young people computers. It's a better way to help them. The ICT hub is pure garbage.
You had a meeting here with your UDA MPs, and at some point told them to pass it as it is. And until the last week, that was the first Tuesday when the protests were there, when now you offered to some amendments. They're saying you're just not listening, and it's not about them, it's about the big picture issues, and we'll come to them, including the question of corruption, which is not really a youth thing.
Indeed, Mr. And just to add on to that, Mr. President, respectfully,
more
Mr. President, I just want to come in
your analysis.
I just want to add on to that, Mr.
Because
I want to add on to
because let me just finish it.
It's the same question. It's the same question. Mr. President, if you went into all the X spaces where the youth are speaking, if you looked at the demonstrations and what they were saying, the placards they are carrying, none of them has talked about we don't have jobs. None of them have talked about the housing jobs are not enough for us. None of them.
Yes, preach.
So it's not that they are not seeing about the jobs. It is beyond that, Mr. President. And respectfully, I want to put it to you that you're not hearing what they're saying.
In fact, we only had after the protests, after all those things you described, that's the time that you came and said,
let me tell you.
Yes, because we've never complained about unemployment. We've never complained about that. Like, as much as it's affecting us, we're not complaining about that. We're complaining about you making it worse for us to ever get jobs, because you're chasing the manufacturers away. You are making transportation tougher. You're making even innovation tough, because even if you have an idea and try to execute it, you're executing to an economy that is destroyed. So if you destroy our economy by overtaxing people with the housing levy, of which you're creating 4,000 jobs, and how many people are losing their jobs? Because it's not fair. You create more taxes to launch some projects that no one really cares about. Because the housing project is just, it won't succeed because the people who are leading it are thieves. The ICT hubs you're claiming are also led by thieves. So it's not an unemployment problem. Just make the economy good, we'll get jobs. Or let it be as it is. Don't make it worse. That's what the youth and the Gen Z were crying about. Like, just let the economy be. Don't try to help us look for jobs. If the economy thrives, we will get jobs naturally. Like, the government doesn't have to create a job for you. I won't trust the government to help me get a job. The government's job is to create a perfect economy for other industries to come, other industry investors to come, and those investors will naturally create a job for me in this space. Not the president, not the president's ideas, because we all know that the president doesn't have any good idea up to now.
The following. The rejection of the finance bill, and this goes to what Linus has said, that we didn't hear anything. Let me tell you, the process of a finance bill, in fact, you know, many people believe in Kenya that the finance bill is an invention of William Ruto. It is not an invention of William Ruto. The finance bill is an instrument that has been with us ever since independence. Only that we have made it much more transparent. Only that we have brought out more to the public. And that is why there is greater interrogation of what government is doing, especially after the new constitution that made public participation not a sterile provision of the constitution, but public participation to be an integral part of lawmaking, an integral part of managing the country. Let me tell you, when we took the bill, when we formulated the bill, it had 346 billion of new revenue. When MPs went out to the public said, we don't think this is good. We don't think this is good. It was reduced by 140 something billion shillings. It remained just 200 billion. Doesn't that amount to listening?
No, it doesn't.
That the public said, reduce this by...
No, it doesn't.
No, we were saying, don't amend, reject. Like literally, every placard was saying, don't amend, reject, don't amend, reject. Because you reduce some of it, but the entire bill was evil. The entire bill was like something, it's almost like Lucifer himself drew the bill. So we were saying, reject, not amend. But you went on to do, as always, what you want, not what the country wants. You amended it, and you didn't reject it.
Mr. President, and that's why I said reject it.
Just wait, just wait. No, we are talking about listening.
Yeah.
Just relax. We're talking about listening, okay? So the public said, reduce this by 146. We sat down, we cut down the areas, we reduced it to 200. What went into the space was